All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today we're cracking open a case file from 1928. A really fascinating story of murder, some brilliant deduction, and a single piece of evidence that just refused to stay buried.
Okay, so let's get right into it. This is a case that completely baffled investigators, and it all started on what should have been a perfect day for fishing, but it took a horrific turn. So our story starts on the south coast of Wales. You've got a man named Mr. Morgan and his son, Evan. They're out on the water, enjoying a quiet evening of fishing, when their line suddenly snags on something really heavy and just stuck at the bottom of the estuary.
And it's a huge struggle, right? They end up using a small anchor just to grapple with it, and they finally manage to haul this heavy packing case up to the surface. And at this point, they're thinking they've hit the jackpot, They've found some kind of treasure trove, so they decide to tow it all the way back to shore.
So that evening, they get the crate back to the harbor, and Mr. Morgan grabs a hammer and chisel to see what's inside. But the second that first board creaks up, that feeling of adventure, it just vanishes. It turns into pure, absolute horror.
Imagine this for a second. Mr. Morgan looks inside, and, well, he sees something no one should ever have to see. And his first instinct? To protect his son. He immediately shields the boy's eyes, makes up some excuse about the awful smell, and leads him away. Then, he goes straight to the local police to report what he found.
Okay, so the local cops take one look at this situation and realize, whoa, this is way out of our league. So they make a call to the big guns, Scotland Yard. And pretty soon, Inspector Joseph French, one of their best from the Criminal Investigation Department, is on a train heading west to figure this whole thing out.
So French gets there, and what does he find? Basically a dead end. The victim's face has been so brutally destroyed, there's just no way to identify him. There are 0 witnesses, no murder weapon, and the crime scene is literally just a wooden box. He has nothing to go on.
So where do you even begin with a case like this? Well, if you're Inspector French, you don't panic. You get methodical. You start with the only 2 things you actually have, the body and the crate, and you examine every single inch of them.
And you know what? Slowly but surely, a few key facts start to emerge from all this chaos. The post-mortem shows the victim was killed by a blow to the head, and his face was disfigured after he was already dead. But, and this is huge, the killer missed one tiny detail, a really distinctive triangular birthmark. And then there's the crate, with these 14 small, seemingly random holes drilled into it. What are those for?
Okay, so it's these clues, especially those strange little holes, that lead Inspector French to his first really brilliant piece of deduction. And it all centers around the biggest question of all.
I mean, think about it. This heavy crate, with a body and a big steel bar inside, is found at the bottom of the inlet. So how in the world did it get there? French starts running through the possibilities. Could it have been dropped from a ship? Well, probably not. It's too public, The crew would have seen something. And besides, why not just drop it way out in the deep sea? So then, what about floating it from the shore? That seems impossible too. The crate was too heavy. Or was it?
And this is where Inspector French does something that's just, well, it's brilliant. He doesn't just guess. He pulls out an engineering handbook and actually starts doing the math. He calculates that the 15 cubic feet of air trapped inside the crate would give it a massive amount of buoyancy.
We're talking a staggering 579 pounds of lift. To be exact, that's more than enough to counteract the weight of the body, the steel bar, the whole shebang. The crate could float.
And that is the key to those 14 little holes. See? They weren't random at all. They were a timer, a kind of delayed action sinking device. It's ingenious, really. The killer could push the crate into the water, the tide would carry it away, and all the while those little holes would slowly let water in. In about an hour, it would sink to the bottom, seemingly without a trace.
But a theory is just a theory, right? To really prove this daring hypothesis, French knows he needs to do more than just theorize. He decides he's going to recreate the entire crime with a stunningly simple and just plain brilliant experiment.
So here's the plan. French believes the killer dropped the crate from the Lahore Bridge, which is about 5 miles upriver. So that's exactly what he's going to do. He takes the original crate, fills it up with stones to match the victim's weight, hauls it to the bridge, and gets ready to see if his theory can, well, hold water.
And you won't believe it. It works. Perfectly. The crate floats for 1 hour and 7 minutes, and then it sinks right beneath the waves. And when they check its position,
It's just 50 yards away from where Mr. Morgan first hooked the real one. It's a spectacular success. French now knows exactly how and where this all went down.
So the experiment is a massive win. It confirms the where, but it also creates a brand new puzzle. The total weight of that crate was over 400 pounds. How could a single person possibly get something that heavy onto the middle of a bridge and heave it over the side all by themselves?
It's a real head-scratcher, but then French has this aha moment. A single person couldn't lift it, sure, but a single person could absolutely operate a vehicle with a small crane. Something like a breakdown lorry that would let one person do the whole job in secret, using the crane to lift and lower the heavy crate with mechanical ease.
So he immediately sends out a description of this vehicle. And guess what? A report comes back almost instantly. A local constable remembers seeing that exact type of lorry parked right near the bridge on the night of August 22nd. That's right in the murder time frame. It had a large tarp-covered cargo, and the driver was suspiciously faking engine trouble.
So, this is huge. The investigation now has its first real solid lead, a suspicious driver and his lorry. But here's the crazy part. This breakthrough, solving the how of the crime, only makes the central puzzle even deeper. The method has been exposed, but the killer, the victim, and the motive, they're still complete unknowns in this incredible case.